Well, brand new numbers out just this morning, and this is good news. Toronto continues to be a hot spot for tourists. The city has actually set a new tourism record. Joining me right now to break down the numbers, Andrew Weir, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer with Tourism Toronto. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Great.
This is amazing. What are the record numbers?
Well, it's great news. You know, the city is hot right now. We're seeing a lot of people that want to come here from the U.S., from a lot of our international markets. You know, growth from Mexico is up 72%. China is growing. So a lot of people are arriving in Toronto. They're choosing to make Toronto their destination. And sometimes in the past, it used to be a place you would kind of go through a little bit more quickly. People are spending more time here, spending more money, more days here, and that affects more businesses.
Now, we're looking, like you say, a big jump in the number of visitors from Mexico. U.S. visits, though, and that's always important, continue to grow at a very manageable pace.
Well, the U.S. market's it's such an important one, of course. It's about 3 million visitors. It's our largest market other than the domestic market. What's interesting, though, is we always think of it as people that maybe drive here from the near border region. 70% of our American visitors fly here. And that's important because it means they stay longer. People that fly here stay longer. They do more. They spend more. And that really affects a lot more businesses and jobs all across the city.
Okay, so our tourism numbers are up. Big deal. What does that mean for the economy?
Well, people are surprised a lot how many different kinds of businesses are part of the tourism economy. So we know about hotels and restaurants and attractions and retail, but then there's the convention sector. That's a big part of our tourism economy. So think about the meeting venues, audiovisual companies, transportation companies, all the different, the catering, part of the convention business. Next year, we'll actually have the most citywide, kind of those largest conventions that we've ever had in our history.
Which ones? Now you've got...
Well, there's a number of them coming in. One of the biggest next year. The largest will be the Rotary International, which is 35,000 people in June.
And why this is so important, too, I'm going to guess, is because they come here, they see what Toronto has to offer, and then they're thinking, I'm going to bring my family back.
That's exactly right. So you get the benefit at the moment that they're here. 35,000 people spending money, doing things around the city, but then every one of them, hopefully, wants to come back, bring their family. Maybe they just add a few extra days on the end of that trip. But there's a lot of benefit. That convention business is just the beginning of a process often that expands more.
And now, here is where we in Toronto have a responsibility. Clean yourself up. But also, when you see someone out here in Yonge Dundas Square, they're kind of like looking at a map or they're a little confused, go over to them and say, hey, can I help you?
People talk about that sense of welcome, but you're right. It's on you. It's on me. We've got to bring that welcome. We've got to bring the Canada, bring the Toronto, and make sure that people feel welcome, want to come back, and have some fun while they're here.
All right. Thank you so much for this. Appreciate it. Andrew Weir, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer with Tourism Toronto.